and I've realized that I'm at a point where I can finally understand. Hola, soy AJ. Hey guys, my name is AJ, and I am back with another Dreaming Spanish update for you guys. Now, I know it has been a little minute, but as you see from the title, I have officially hit 730 something hours. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about that in today's video. So first thing I want to go over is like from roughly 600 to 650 hours, the first 50 hours, not much really changed for me. I didn't really do anything different, and especially when it came to Dreaming Spanish, like I told you guys in my past videos, I wasn't really watching Dreaming Spanish that much, but when I did watch Dreaming Spanish, I was still watching intermediate videos. Like, yeah, I would throw in the occasional advanced video, but I pretty much still operated as if I didn't hit 600 hours. I was still operating as if I was at 500 hours. I was just watching my intermediate videos as I liked, you know, clicking on whatever ones I like to watch, and that's just what I did. Now, once I got to 650 hours, that's kind of when I decided to change. I went from watching intermediate videos mostly, and I did like a a hard cutoff, and I stopped watching intermediate videos completely, just because I do feel like in order for you to get adjusted to a certain speed of video or to a certain difficulty of video, you kind of have to do like a little cutoff like that and only watch advanced videos for a little while, and then I'll probably go back to watching intermediate videos. But as I was saying before, like, to be completely honest, the advanced videos weren't really anything that crazy to me. So, I mean, to be honest, the switch from intermediate to advanced, I did see like a jump, but it wasn't anything that crazy. And especially because I've been, you know, listening to podcasts like Español con Juan and watching dubbed TV series. Honestly, those series are harder than the advanced videos on Dreaming Spanish, so I was feeling pretty good. Now I'm going to talk about my notes and go over what I was just writing down throughout these past 130 hours. At 625 hours, I wrote down that I was frustrated that I wasn't understanding all of the words whenever I would listen to podcasts, whenever I would watch a show. Now, pretty much whenever I hit 600 hours, I was like, oh, I'm advanced now. I should be understanding advanced content. I should be understanding, you know, all the word. Like, I just felt like I should have been at a higher level than I was. You know, I just felt like for some reason, once I hit 600 hours, like, oh, I'm at level 5 now. Like, I'm advanced now. Like, I should be understanding all these things. And one thing I had to do was kind of like, not necessarily lower my expectations, but get rid of my expectation of the fact that, like, okay, I should be understanding, you know, 90% of this, or I should be understanding 100% of this, because what I had to understand is 600 hours is just like 400 hours, it's just like 300 hours, it's just like 150 hours. You are going to be watching videos, and you are not going to be understanding part of the video, but that is the point, and I kind of had to re-realize that again, and so that like I wasn't as frustrated whenever I would listen to a podcast and I'm not understanding some words or maybe a sentence, or I'm listening or I'm watching a video and I'm not understanding words or some sentences. For any future advice for you guys, I would definitely try to get rid of the expectation that you should be at a certain level by this many hours. Like, if you're like, oh, I should be able to speak whenever I hit 500 hours, I promise you the expectation that you have in your head of yourself and the reality of what's going to happen, it's not going to match up. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be bad. That's not what I'm saying at all. Once you hit 500, 600, 700, all these hours, your level is going to be way better than it has ever been before. Trust me when I say that, ever been before. But there's a reason why level 7 is at 1500 hours. There's a reason why most people actually say that it doesn't feel 100% natural until you get to 1800 hours. There's a reason why people are still doing Dreaming Spanish for, you know, 2,000, 3,000 hours, because you're always going to be improving. Oh, and at 645 hours, I actually had a very funny story, and it's that, like, sometimes Spanish words or Spanish phrases for certain things will pop into my head. So pretty much what I mean by that is that if I learn something in Spanish, whenever I go to recall that information, I'll be recalling it in Spanish and I won't even notice it. And this happened because I was talking to some of my friends at the gym who I told them about Dreaming Spanish as well, and now one of them's doing it. and we were talking about Argentina. And I was like, yeah, like I would love to go to Argentina, and like you guys should go to Argentina too. And they were kind of like, oh, I don't know, like I heard it's a bad area. I heard they're not too friendly. And in my head, I'm like, oh wait, what are you talking about? Like Agustina and that guy from Spanish Boost Gaming, Martin, they talk about how they're friendly to outsiders. They're friendly to people from America trying to learn their language, coming there to try to learn about their culture and more, that they're super friendly to people like that and that they enjoy people like that. But in my head, all I could think of for the word for like foreigners or outsiders was extranjeros, which I've heard Agustina say a billion times. And when I went to go recall, like, you know, what she was talking about, for some reason, I could not translate that word in my head to save my life. I was like, I don't know the translation. I was like, I guess foreigners is the best word. But I guess it really does go to show like how this process is working and how it's cementing itself in your mind subconsciously without you even knowing it. All right. And at 695 hours, I wrote down that I really haven't been watching. So from 600 to 700 hours, I really wasn't watching any YouTube at all. I'm gonna go over like what I was watching and what I was doing to get my content in, but I really wasn't watching much YouTube. But I did watch a YouTube video from this YouTube channel, and I've talked about it before that I've watched a video or two of his, but it did feel more natural. It did feel a lot easier to watch the video. So I think that I'm finally getting to a point to where I can watch like more native level media, at least when it comes to YouTubers. And I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later as well. Another thing that I started doing was I started listening to podcasts and watching shows even a little more passively. Now, what I mean by that is, and I feel like I say this every single video, but I feel like I'm relaxing more and more and more whenever I'm listening, and I'm not listening as hard. So there'll be times where I'm listening to a podcast and sometimes I'll miss a sentence, or sometimes I'll miss 2 sentences. And like in the past, I will always try to go back and be like, oh, I gotta make sure I listen to the sentence, or I gotta make sure I do this, I gotta make sure I do that. But then, like in reality, it's like I missed 10 seconds of a 20-minute podcast. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I missed 15-20 seconds of a 30-minute podcast. Like, you're going to be okay if you miss a sentence. You're going to be okay if, you know, you miss a few sentences throughout the entire podcast and you don't go back to, like, you know, you don't go back, rewind so that you can hear the sentence. As long as you're still able to follow along with the podcast, relax a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I had to do the same thing. And now, once I hit 700 hours, I wrote down that I feel like I'm at a point right now where if I wanted to, I could definitely never listen to a podcast or never watch any Dreaming Spanish videos or any YouTube ever again. Like, and what I mean by that is that, like, if your goal is to just get to a point where you can watch like dubbed shows, I felt like at 700 hours, I probably could go the rest of my Spanish journey just only watching dubbed shows. Now, I'm not at a point where I can understand 100% all dubbed media. I'm not at a point where I could understand 80-70% of all of the dubbed media, but I will say that because I've tried to watch just little snippets of a lot of shows in Spanish, and I could tell that they're attainable now. Like, did you guys ever do that? Like, whenever you guys were in like beginner videos, or whenever you guys were in beginner going to advanced, did you ever watch a video up a level and you were like, oh no, there's no way, like I'm not at that level yet. But eventually, maybe you tried a harder video and you was like, I actually, even though it was a little bit harder to follow along, I could actually follow along with this. That's how I feel about dub shows right now. I feel like whatever dub show I want to put on, I feel like it probably would be difficult for me, or be a little bit more difficult for me. But if I wanted to, I genuinely do think I could just watch dub shows for the rest of my Spanish journey if I wanted to. Now, I don't want to. Like, I like the podcast, I like YouTube, I like, you know, Dreaming Spanish every now and then. So I'm still going to be doing that, and it's super easy to get in content that way. But for sure, like, I would say my ability to consume dub content has definitely gone up. It's not perfect. I'm saying this right now. It's not perfect, but you can definitely follow along. I'm gonna say that right. You could definitely follow along, and you could probably follow along enough for it to be enjoyable with a good amount of shows. Oh yeah, so at 720 hours, I wrote down that I'm going to try to be getting at least 1 hour of visual content a day. Now, as you guys have probably seen in my previous videos, I talk about how like most of my days are podcasts. Like I've had like days where literally I've had 2 hours of just straight podcasts, and that's all I did for the entire day. Or most of my days would be like an hour and a half of podcasts and maybe 30 minutes of watching YouTube or something. But I know how important that visual media is, so I'm going to try for at least an hour of my day to be visual content. And what that does for me is it makes it easier, because podcasts are easy for me. I can listen to them when I'm at the gym, when I'm in the car, while I'm doing dishes, while I'm cleaning my room, while I'm taking a shower. So if I'm dedicating myself to get an hour of content every day, that means it's going to be easier for me to push past my 2 hours and get 2 hours 15 minutes, 2 hours 30 minutes, 2 hours 45 minutes. So I'm going to be trying to get at least 1 hour, but we'll see how long that goes. A big update for me was that now I'm watching Spanish Boost gaming videos and whatnot, and I've realized that I'm at a point where I can finally understand video games. So whenever I'm watching him play, I think it was like Indiana Jones or Splitgate, or really like any show where the players are talking and it's like dubbed in Spanish, or they're talking in Spanish, I can actually follow. Oh yeah, or with his I forget what the game is, but it's a game and it's about zombies, and I'm pretty sure they just made like a show about it on, I think you can watch it on like Amazon Prime or whatever. But anyways, that game that he's playing, like they're talking and it's in Spanish, it's been translated in Spanish, but I can still understand them as they're talking, which is pretty good, because I felt like whenever I would watch his videos at 200 hours or 300 hours, I wouldn't really be paying attention to the actual dialogue because it was too hard for me to follow. But now I'm at a point where I can enjoy both him talking and I can enjoy the video game dialogue. So one thing I'm thinking about is I maybe might try to play a few games in Spanish, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe not. But yeah. All right. And at 232 hours, I wrote down that, I wrote down that I've been watching more YouTube. And like I said, once I hit 700 hours, I feel like I've been watching more YouTube. I've been watching a lot of like travel content, especially, and then like a little bit of gaming content. But yeah, and I guess that'll like kind of transition us into this next part. Like I already told you, into the next part. And really quickly, just to go over my listening breakdown, I already told you guys I'm trying to get an hour a day of visual content, whether that be YouTube or shows, and then the other half is normally podcasts, and those podcasts are normally Español con Juan or Spanish or How to Spanish. It's a very sad day because today I'm pretty sure I'm about to finish the Español con Juan podcast, so I'm going to be going on to a new podcast. And I did kind of make this promise with myself, which in the past I tried other podcasts like No Hay Tos and another podcast I'm gonna put up here, and I tried both of them. No Hay Tos I could understand a little bit better, but I did want to give it some time, and I was like, because I think I did that probably around like 30-40. It was definitely before I hit 700 hours, so probably before. So it was at least 40 hours ago. Probably more like 50 hours ago I tried it. I tried both of these, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait till I finish Español con Juan. That way I can throw another podcast into the, like the rotation. And yeah, so probably the next podcast I'm going to be listening to is No Hay Tos, and like I said, this other one. And who knows? Maybe I might go back to also listening to Spanish and Go. I might try to, hit them up again, see what's up with that podcast. And if you guys have any recommendations, like if you guys have anything that's even remotely similar to Español con Juan, that's just a guy talking about whatever interests him in Spanish, like I would definitely make sure to let me know. Leave it in the comments, because I would love to be able to go and listen to more podcasts. And also, one thing that I haven't mentioned in the past, but I've been doing it pretty much this entire time, so I'm going to let you guys know right now, is that I've been listening to podcasts in the shower. And specifically, I've been listening to easier podcasts in the shower. So pretty much once I hit intermediate, I would try to, every time I go to the shower, I would try to listen to a beginner level podcast, because there's water running, I'm doing stuff, obviously taking a shower and stuff. So having a podcast that's a little bit slower, easier to follow, help for me. The one I'm listening to right now is, I'm pretty sure it is a podcast that is being put on by Worlds Across, and it's called Español Abuelo. And yeah, it's just a short podcast. They're normally like 15 to 20 minutes. And they're like a little too slow, so I put them in 1.25 speed on the Spotify app, and then I have my speaker in the shower with me, and I'm normally listening to that. So it takes anywhere from normally 12 minutes to 15-16 minutes to be done. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to be talking about is shows. So the visual media that I've been watching, everything. So I've kind of been going crazy when it comes to Avatar recently. I've been watching Avatar either every day or every other day. Multiple episodes a day. And I'm finally caught up. As I'm recording this video right now, I only have 2 episodes left. I'm sad to be finishing that, but it was a really good show. So if you get you guys should definitely watch it if you haven't already watched it, especially if you're into animated shows. You'll probably really enjoy it. This entire time I haven't really been watching that 70s show. It's probably been 100 hours since I've watched that 70s show. Not for any reason in particular. I just got busy. I was getting my hours through other means. I was watching Avatar, and like I said in the past, I was only watching 30 minutes of visual media a day. So if it wasn't that one episode, then I probably wasn't watching that 70s show. So I want to go back to watching that. I want to watch Friends, which I think is on HBO Max, because that's a show that it's kind of like how Avatar was for me. It was I watched it when I was younger. I watched some of it when I was younger. I never sat down and watched it all the way through. But I know kind of the basic storyline of what's going on. And it is a show that I was interested in it when I was a kid. I just never, like I said, I never watched it from beginning to end. I would only just watch it whenever it came on TV. So I think that'll be another show that I'll be able to sit down and actually kind of get into. And the fact that it's a sitcom will be even better for kind of building up that daily language, daily vocabulary. And then the other day while I was on my computer looking at and I was watching Avatar, I went through, and my goal, what I'm going to try to do, is just to watch a whole bunch of dubbed anime in Spanish. And I know that you shouldn't only be watching dubbed media, and I'm not. I'm also getting my media through other means, which I'm going to be talking about in a second. But anime is something that I enjoy, and I honestly believe that if you had to choose between watching an hour of something that you enjoy, or half an hour, struggling through half an hour of something that you don't really enjoy, but it's more native media, so it's better for you, I 100% believe that watching the thing that you enjoy is going to be way better, because you're going to be more likely to stick with it, you're going to be more likely to want to do it again, and you're going to be more likely to be able to watch for longer. So in terms of the anime, and not only anime, but I'll go with shows as well that I have on Netflix, because that's pretty much where I'm getting everything except for that 70s show and Friends. I'm going to be watching on Netflix just because it's easier. And a lot of you guys ask me, oh, how do you watch things on Netflix? How do you watch things on Netflix? I have a VPN. I use Surfshark VPN. I got this deal to where it's for 15 months I get it for $2.71 a month, and I use that, change my location to Mexico, and that's how I'm able to access, and it'll show you pretty much all the shows that you can access. And I went on there, scrolled down, found anime dubbed in Spanish, and then I'm just gonna be popping it up all over the screen, all the shows that I currently have on there. Some of them are shows that I've watched before, like Hunter x Hunter. I've watched before. Dr. Stone, I've watched the first 2 seasons of. Some of them are shows that I haven't watched before. Some of them are shows that I have watched, but like Dr. Stone, I've watched only a certain amount of them, and they have new seasons that I'd want to watch. So I could use the Spanish to catch up to it, and then whenever I'm ready, I could watch it in another language if I want to. But yeah, so like there are a lot of anime, and I'm gonna have like just a few dub shows pop up here, because I think I have like a few of them. Or even if they're not dub shows, maybe just shows that are just in Spanish, you know what I mean? Like Love is Blind, Mexico, Too Hot to Handle, like a lot of those like reality shows. I know they have it for different countries and different areas. And also, I feel like, if anything, I feel like reality TV honestly would be the best way to learn, because you're watching real people. Like you're watching, like I mean, you could say whether it's scripted or not, but like in theory, like you're watching people actually talk how they really talk, use the words, use the vocabulary that they use in their day-to-day lives. So in theory, these shows should be the best way to learn. I haven't tried to watch any of them yet. Like I said, I'm going to be sticking with dubbed media for a long time. And then eventually I'm gonna switch over to more native media. And then when it comes to YouTubers, I've been watching two main YouTubers. This guy, which I talked about earlier, and these two, which I think I might have posted them before, but they're pretty much a couple who they make travel content, pretty much travel vlog content. It's the two of them. They go like around the world talking about different things. A lot of their videos are like 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So it's good. It's easy for me to just sit down and watch like a 25-minute video from beginning to end, and then boom, I have 25 minutes done, and I could, either go do whatever I want or watch another one. Like I said, I talked about gaming channels. So obviously I've been watching Spanish Boost Gaming, and the other person I've been watching has been this guy. He does make a lot of different videos, and he has like series. You can go to his YouTube channel and you can just click on and go and see he has like a whole bunch of series for a whole bunch of different kinds of games. So like, to be honest, there's probably at least a few games in there that you would enjoy watching. And if you're like, I would say if you're like at the 700 level, he's probably perfect for you. And I've been watching his, I think he has like a Pokemon series. So I've been watching that, which is really cool. And that one's really good because it's an RPG, so it's all like, so a lot of it is like text boxes, so I get to practice my reading as he's speaking at the same time, which you guys know I like to do, and I've talked about before. And again, I've realized that my reading has been improving a little bit. I haven't been reading like outside of that pretty much, but I want to start again. I think I probably will start maybe over the summer, or maybe whenever I hit 1,000 hours. But yeah, that is pretty much it from me. If you guys have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below. I will definitely respond, or if you just want to say hey or something, let me know. Quick things, I haven't been doing, if you have any questions about crosstalk, I haven't been doing any crosstalk. If you have any questions about speaking, I haven't been speaking. Like, yeah, I've really just been committing to listening to the podcast every day and committing to watching a few episodes every day. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm gonna let you guys know. So probably around like 820 hours, I might record another video, or 830, or probably like 850. I'll probably say like 850. I'll record another video, letting you guys know kind of like what shows I've been watching, what shows I finished, because that's my goal. I would say that my goal my goal is to start and finish a show by the next time that I record a video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.